The theater was quiet now. The last credits had rolled, the lights dimmed, and the laughter of the audience had long since faded into the night. But silence in a movie theater isn't always silence, because beneath the plush red seats, beneath the humming projectors and the sticky floor, something else stirred. Something that had waited decades for someone to notice. Most people never gave AMC theaters a second thought. They came for blockbusters, overpriced popcorn, and the illusion of escape. But late at night, when the screens went black, when only a few workers remained to sweep up, the theater itself seemed to breathe. And sometimes, it whispered. It started with the cleaner. Her name was Rosa, a quiet woman who had worked the night shift for years. She knew every shadow in the theater, every draft from the old vents, every creak of the sticky aisles. But one evening, as she bent down to retrieve a lost phone under the last row, she felt it. A cold draft, unnatural, as if the air beneath the theater was alive. Then she heard it. A voice, not a voice on the speakers, not the muffled sound of a forgotten trailer playing. It was beneath her, leaking up from under the seats like smoke through a crack. A low murmur, syllables she couldn't understand. She froze, heart pounding, and dropped the phone in her hand. When she stood back up, she noticed it. An access hatch, hidden in plain sight beneath the row of seats, its hinges rusted but intact. She had never seen it before. No manager had ever mentioned it. That night, Rosa clocked out early. She told no one, but she didn't return for her next shift, or the one after. By the end of the week, her nameplate was gone from the schedule. No explanation. No farewell. Just gone. The staff whispered about her disappearance. Some said she quit. Others claimed she was fired. But a few those who had heard things themselves believed something else had happened. And slowly, the whispers spread. The story reached Evan, a college student who worked evenings selling tickets. He laughed when the others warned him. "It's just vents," he said. "Old buildings make weird noises. But curiosity. It's at you woo." And one night, after the last showing of the latest horror flick, he stayed behind. He brought a flashlight, and when the last usher left, when the lobby lights dimmed black, Evan walked into Theater 6, the same room Rosa had cleaned. The hatch was still there. Small, square, unmarked. He pressed his palm against it, and to his surprise, it moved. The lock had long since rusted away. He slid the hatch aside, and a rush of stale, damp air spilled out, carrying with it the unmistakable smell of rot. For a moment, Evan hesitated, but then he thought of Rosa, of her sudden disappearance. He lowered the flashlight into the darkness. A ladder stretched down into the unknown. He swallowed hard and climbed in. The space beneath the AMC wasn't what he expected. It wasn't ducts or pipes or storage. It was a tunnel, narrow, damp walls lined with bricks that seemed much older than the theater itself. The floor sloped downward, each step taking him further away from the world above. The deeper he went, the stronger the whispers grew. They bounced off the stone, filling the passage like a chorus of secrets. He couldn't understand the words, but the tone was unmistakable pleading, warning, hungry. At the end of the tunnel, Evan found a door. Wooden, warped, marked with deep gouges. His hand trembled as he pushed it open. Beyond was a chamber. Rows of broken seats lined the walls, arranged like an ancient theater, but instead of a screen, there was a mural faded, painted in deep red, showing people gathered around something that looked disturbingly like a throne of bones. And on the floor, bones of a different kind, small ones, human, piled in corners, Nord clean. Evan stumbled back, his flashlight shaking. He tried to leave, but then he heard it clearer than ever before. A whisper that rose from all directions at once, not in a language he could understand, but in a tone that made his blood run cold. And then something moved. From behind the throne, a figure stirred. Its limbs were thin, too long, its joints bending at wrong angles. Its skin clung like wax, pale and loose, and its head was wrapped in strips of rotting cloth, as though it had been mummified and then unwrapped. It turned toward him. The whisper stopped, and in the silence, it spoke not in riddles, not in mutters, but in a voice that filled the chamber like a scream buried in stone. You came for the show. The thing lurched forward. By morning, the theater opened as usual. Families came for matinees. Kids laughed at cartoons. No one noticed that Theater 6 was locked, a sign taped to the door. Technical issues. The manager said Evan never showed up for work again. He must have quit. Just like Rosa, just like the others before him. But if you ever sit in an AMC theater long after the credits roll, stay very still. Listen closely, because sometimes, beneath the hum of the projector, beneath the shuffle of the cleaning staff, you'll hear a toothy, faint murmur rising from below, the whispers of the depths, calling for their next audience. And when they do, you'd better hope you never find the hatch,